and all those. And I don't want to go into those details because they are before the court. At the end of the day, the judgment of the court will set a lot of precedents. But don't forget, the law is that the Supreme Court can always differ from its earlier decision. That is a danger.
All right, for Mamu now cover SSMB Ecoso Parliament, which I think I need to bring to your attention. Samu now Bekaya somewhere in October and Parliament is share and the Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin Ejina Ghana Mraso declare 4 seats vacant. And I'm swinty and NPP and Kanina or when a majority in Parliament no ebe the new minority. And Kanina NDC na or minority no ebe the new majority in Parliament. Now and no Afenyo Markin, the new minority leader in Parliament no na address on tiasie otam asem no ekodan Supreme Court. Na mu ina so mu se ene Ghana ye democracy ye wo mu yi. Supreme Court no seems to be on the side of the NPP. Nti no ekoba ni sa no court no rule in favor of Afenyo Markin and the NPP. Court no say the Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin should go back on his words and reinstate NPP as the majority in Parliament. Na Parliament esa eshia ye no weni semua Alban Bagbin editudra.
Unfortunately, the signatories who made the request have not shown up, and therefore matters that they wanted us to handle, which are admitted for the consideration of the business committee, are not on the order paper, and in fact there's no order paper for today because the business committee could not meet due to the absence of the people who requested for the recall. And as you can see, one side of the house is completely empty. In view of this, we have, as usual, got a quorum to sit, but we have no business before us to transact, because the business committee, as you know, they prepare a report, and this report is adopted by the House as business agreed by the House to transact during the course of the week. In the absence of that, there is no other authority that can put business before you which you have not adopted to transact. In view of the failure of the business committee to sit, as a result of the refusal of those who requested for the recall to show up, we are compelled to once again adjourn the sitting of the House. Knowing the challenges we are facing, it is not advisable to be adjourning from day to day. And so I'll proceed once more to adjourn the meeting indefinitely. And the meeting, this extraordinary meeting, is accordingly adjourned.
Enti Parliament esa share isan say in their previous meeting Alban Bagbin declare NDC as the new majority in Parliament into NDC MPs ekotna the side of the majority. Eti NPP MPs ni ba already na omubu efu dada. Ena afenso no Alban Bagbin betena ase ena o kire say sa court judgment we no odi ye adwuma Parliament a enye adwuma edi entia. So we Parliament ho a Enye court umbrana eye adwuma na ebum there is something they call standing orders of parliament. And no, ena eye adwuma ewo parliament. Enye court umbra. Iti Alban chire se ne eye lawyer for ensanfa judgment no enko back to the court. Na court na ankasa ekwan bi a won besi afa so a on be implement judgment no bia no. Let them go ahead and implement their judgment. What they say pa. Na eno Emma NPP, the new minority in parliament, Edi ebufuo, ewoke out of parliament, and no na enam so ntia Emma Alban Bagbin, adjourned parliament indefinitely. Na eba ni sa in less than 1 week, and this same NPP, Afenyo Markin, therefore ya ni nkofo, esa ba bontin H0t Ghana for say they want Alban Bagbin to reopen parliament. They will be able to see to their so-called government business. And we say, hey, or social media, your boy, mwachi can be anche bia, and a council of state and penny for so, echo who Alban Bagbin, a pana church, said, they be cool. The way at the NCA air corner, say, where be a parliamentar, NPP are buying back one chim, edientia, say, auto parliament, more, and what say, you have put the government on hold. There's nothing the government can do anymore. Into a dear, yes, reward, court or no. Passe judgment usi uni so onfanya adwuma fair enough we there yesre wada ye poacho say ko bie parliament no se ne be ya NPP mpanimfo ebetimi see to their so called government business na enam so nti energy Alban Bagbin etie sa achopa na council of state for e de beto nanimu no otie na so pemu H0t Ghana for say ene sa ade a wate obebie parliament no eye enne on the 7th of November 2024. Now, Enra Obabontin Asia the press, Emma press conference bi, Emma ye bisa no question ba kumienu bi Emma ni yano. Inti yenko na yenko tie Enra press conference no emuaye Alban Bagbin maaye anase ensemu Alban Bagbin di tudwa na yemfa ye dwumadi emfiri ho. Listen.
No, I disagree with that. And that is permitted by law. So when you tell me that, it means that the Supreme Court is supreme. And so when it orders, I must obey. When I know the same Supreme Court can disorder, you have to raise a question back. I'm a lawyer by profession. And the first time I appeared in the Supreme Court was 1983. 1983. That was my first case in the Supreme Court. I don't know whether those who are going there now were born, but it's okay. The last one is when I was young, I think when we were in the senior high, we were not calling it senior high, we were calling it secondary school. There was some song, it's too late to say that you are sorry. After you broken my heart. When I needed you to satisfy my soul. You turn your back and said,
now, I think we should add singer to Mr. Speaker's because the skills keep adding as we go along. I said he was an old woman in an old man's skin. He refused, but... And so I think that you'd all agree with me that we've had a very fruitful good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, may I also acknowledge that Daily Graphic Online, Class FM, Channel 1 TV, Onua TV and FM, News Alert GH.com live, and many other news portals are streaming live. Like I indicated, we are truly grateful. Mr. Speaker has said that he's grateful. As we bring proceedings to a close, Mohammed Nyagzi will give us the closing prayer. But before that, the Deputy Clerk in charge of Legislative Management, Camilo Puamang, will officially thank us. And then Mohammed will thank Allah. And then Mr. Speaker will take leave of us.
Enti ahano enra sebo follow proceedings na Alban Bagbin patre say the court ruling no enye static, all right, ene Chief Justice via Ohobiano ene ne interpretation of the law. In this yanhwe ye na say ye kone say because court na kanti ye kone sa echine bi ye betimi enya a new Chief Justice na ono so no wa interpret the law differently. Eba ne sa na ye koye anase ye baye. Na ono speaker no osanso ye lawyer ni sabio omodam onyimi ye onimni awoye. Sa 4 seats na o declare the vacant no was lawful according to Ghana the constitution. In the sanya mo say the Chief Justice no or interpreting law na or chese nia or no ye no enye Ghana no sa so na ono so no wa interpreting law no Parliament chese no calling 4 seats vacant no was 100% lawful and is something that Parliament must adhere to. What you say pa these were the words of the Speaker of Parliament or chair Ghana for sebi Ghana for or more than na only Ghana for hwambo adia eye unlawful no onye ono no oba Parliament enye ne oye lawyer ni mapa wasua de he understands the standing orders and the procedures of Parliament. It is sebi you so no ne Parliament no we declare 4 seats vacant enya dia court betimi ahyemra sa chenchina yirekete go and reinstate those seats tenebeya NPP ebetimi ababaye majority in Parliament. Oye ne sa dia nene na udi Ghana for abro anase he will not be acting according to the laws of the land. Yento so na yenhwe another video of the press conference na in breaking it down.
And all those, and I don't want to go into those details because they are before the court. At the end of the day, the judgment of the court will set a lot of precedents. But don't forget, the law is that the Supreme Court can always differ from its earlier decision. That is a danger. So for a purpose, I can give a judgment and ruling to favor the situation. Tomorrow, I say, no. No, I disagree with that. And that is permitted by law. So when you tell me that, it means that the Supreme Court is supreme. And so when it orders, I must obey. When I know the same Supreme Court can disorder, you have to raise a question back. I'm a lawyer by profession. And the first time I appeared in the Supreme Court was 1983. 1983. That was my first case in the Supreme Court. I don't know whether those who are going there now were born, but it's okay. The last one is
Enti ahanso Alban Bagbin say the first time we court was in 1983. 1983. Na ono ojina court kambra edimra chichemra. Samre no Afenyo Markin onyi ni se empo ebia na yawo no. Oya kwada. Omu enne omu dimri kakodan court because of their selfish political interest Safo no onyi ni se empo na yawo some of them. Ana se empo na yawo omo krampo na omu ye nkwada. Sabi onya abofra. The interpretation of the law no can differ in the sense the interpretation of the law no is subject to the person interpreting the law. Se nipa ni NPP ni a obeka law no differently. E dey favor ne ho. Se nipa no nso ye NDC ni the same thing. Based on the interest of nipa kro now or interpreting law no, the law can go either A or B, and answer part A or part B. It is Speaker H0t say and ne toko no de obi adi mo no say Ekufuado na eyi no entiene no she is interpreting the law to favor NPP. What about that chibi? Yenya chief justice via or also nye NPP ni na say the same law na no or interpreting in a different way. Na say Ghana brana kasa no ye piano to ha, ni ye piano to ha, ye piano ha, ni ye piano ha. Say you Ghana brana say ye to na say. In the sabio ono de onya kwada ojina court ho edimra. Some of you were not born. Onya bofra waya lawyer ache ye pa onim Ghana mrasi. Oti asie se Parliament ho standing orders na adwuma enya court mra. It is sabi you say court no ebe kire ono speaker say ono ne mra wa hye wo ono ne parliament ontwe na no nsan na oma NPP emra meye majority de sabi you sa de no o de adwuma enya de a ebeye ene enya de a ebeye china daache nso ka ho enya de a ebe je say enya de a ebeye enya de a ebe adwuma tinton time nti eye ono de nia waka no eno an waka NDC the new majority and NPP so the new minority. And the same people, NPP, Afenyo Markin in Nkofu, they were calling for the resumption of Parliament. They will be able to see to their government business. No, and na Parliament is here. Now Parliament is here. The same people now so as a boycott to Parliament. TBBSU, the same people. After said Speaker Bagbin, he put Parliament on hold, no. The same people in less than 1 week, and about Bontebe say they want Parliament to resume. Said they will be able to see to their government business. Sound call for yaw, and I saw fair check what tie Council of State if wechi HS yanko. Na yankopa speaker na chona omie parliament say we will be able to see to our government business. Afe the speaker ABA parliament na the same people no are boycotting parliament. The same people. As you can see on your screen, or say the first slide, or say these are the words of Afenyo Markin, or say the chaos they NDC MPs started is what they want to end. We will not allow that. Chaos will be na oka huasem. The same people in the first sitting, no, mo boycott, you walked out on parliament. And once and nam swanti ema speaker no adjourned parliament indefinitely. And chebia, and are you the same people as about one tebe pacho HSA? You want parliament to come back, Senebeya. You will be able to see to your government business. And parliament ebia NDC aba. You the same people no mama. No we are. What's our bechere Ghana for say? Sir, chaos na NDC penny for shall see of parliament. No, they want to end it. Na mo die more ending ene china. Sebi. Sound kwasiafo we any sound confo we no ho. Me say, sa wodwi wo ho a onti ase. Just imagine. Ye to parliament mu enye NDC mpanimfo na air calling for parliament to come back. You were the same people. And parliament aba masa boycott. Esa blame NDC for say ai sa chaos na NDC mpanimfo ahya ase no. They want to end it. Na mo de munye ready say more ending ne ene china. Wo de wo adwene ho ye. Just think about this nonsense. Just think about this rubbish. Some kwasi asem we ye ka ne hefa. Sabi yo no Ghana for ye blame NDC and I say ye blame NPP. In this case, I was say ye blame NPP because you were the same people who were calling for parliament to come back. And parliament aba NDC pening for come mama. Na mu hia masa be say sa chaos na NDC MPs no ashanse no they want to end it. Na mu de munye ready sa munye ready dia ene Alban Bagbin on to the parliament until January. Yes, where John Dramani Mahama ina. Then they can come back to parliament. And kwasi asem, Jimmy sem, and mua semu say. Na ye Ghana ha, na ye so, and ye say hwan Afenyo Markin, kwasi penny, Jimmy nibi, ye say dien, ye friend of dien ya, Afenyo Markin, and Afenyo Markin, and a marking, kwasi ato way, and bra Alban. H0t, na ye wo aboa. How old are you? Ose kwa Jimmy. One cent coffee me say, Omunyansa ne omwadwe no enya adwuma. Yeah, share the next slide. Or say, we look forward to engaging the speaker in the next few hours and days. Imagine the audacity, the effrontery. Speaker FBA Parliament and Kwasemoko. You will be able to see to your government business. No man ko. And this penny for kwemo de manko na mu hia mo asabe kire say we look forward to engaging the speaker in the next few hours and days for the where You see, it's the arrogance from you. It's the impunity for me. Kokoti sem, Jimmy sem, Mua sem, Kufado star no biao. Kufado, the arrogance ni bia na kwasiampani we swafa, and this guy is leading the NPP into a ditch because of the selfish interest. The selfish interest in one man hero. This idiot is leading the NPP into a ditch, and you are following because muni munyansa, mo Jimmy, mo jenu nyejuma. Because say I Ghana for who is say I time one the Speaker of Parliament, declare one minority, or no the minority leader, or sorry, or kon ebua yama NPP. Because of the political interest in this guy here is leading the NPP on a path of destruction. This guy here is leading the NPP into a ditch. And I'm now kwasia for mudi Jimmy niwe etisa preko and I'm Jimmy Ogana ha. Excuse me, samudi agra me say kwasiampani we obegumo party no. Samudi agra kwasiampani we obesemo party no. Samudi agra kwasiampani we obegumo party no kojo to because of the selfish interest in tea. Yes, I shall dear ha. So we free Katie Hammond on the way Jimmy Saman no. Me nim ye ya ne call for class out to abadimano. Katie Hammond no where Jimmy or ya one comedian in Parliament. Muntie Samua or the Atuga or say we will cite the Speaker of Parliament for contempt for disregarding the Supreme Court's ruling. Chese and Samua Alban Ekano in Rana Sumu. And Samua Alban Eka until you. In Cheche Mua Alban, and the Amagana for na and the Empo, the common Ghanaian Atiasi, no Kwasiam Pennyway, what's not Parliament over the years were full general Parliament also on Tiasie. What's not Parliament, I must have you, the true Nelfu also on Tiasie. Editia, the selfish interest in tea. Yen Sebe Gano, yes, Sebe NPP. Yen fa Ghana Mrahu, Nemum, Yefa, the interest of NPP, Jimmy Sem. And kwasiasam, the selfish interest of these people, they want to disregard Ghana bra. Said beya, sebi you NPP no, e bet me a favor omo. And kwasiasem, Jimmy sem, any mwasem, any kwasiake kan sebi you nyansem be nim. Say hi, we want to dear cite the Speaker of Parliament for contempt for disregarding the Supreme Court ruling. Disregarding the Supreme Court ruling. Meanwhile, in 2020, the same thing happened in Parliament, whereby Michael Quay declared for mina seat vacant and Nam Swonti and also Kosi Bibisa. At that time, these people had no problem with that. These people at that time, they had no problem with that. Jimmy Kwasiato and Edie. The same thing see ye dear Yedimrika, Akodan court, and a court no contempt of court, and a court no idea and day, and a speaker no or a tuno do, and a speaker no, the body gun icon, and more in 2020. The same thing happened. Where were you, Katie Hammond? Me say nkofu ye muao, me say nkofu ye Jimmy Fo, nkofu no, omu ni mu nyansa, omu adjene, me say, omu aton ye nyansa edi ama NPP ni Jimmy. TME pa, me say, omu aton eye ye nyansa, edi ama NPP ni Jimmy, omu ni mu nyansa, ye ke Jimmy pa, me say, eye NPP mu mpenifo, any members of Parliament on the ticket of NPP. Yes, I'm sure dear waha. And this is coming from yes sir. This is coming from your friend say Ato Forcing, the new majority leader in Parliament. Or say the behavior of the NPP caucus refusing to show up in Parliament shows disrespect and okre. Speaker adjourned Parliament indefinitely. And abokrana sa fechi ekopa na chel. Say omra be send you will be able to see to your government business. Obebie ya mo mama. Na mama no kra say man fa obuo ama the speaker. Na mo hwie ya mo san nam echire sa che say and a speaker no we are going to engage him in the next days. We are going to contempt any kwasiasem emuasem any ejimisem. These people are nation wreckers. And they under Ekufuado NPP. They say your democracy no has been thrown to the gutters. Because these people no have no regard for democracy. These people no, they have no regard for the rule of law. Anything that favors NPP, that is what they are so much concerned about. Adibia a favor NPP. Provided say sasam na o kanompo no enya mrampo na say a favor NPP, they are in for it. They are all for it. Why? Because of their own selfish interest in tea. 81 say the last time when we hear a program on this same issue, no, me catch them say the earlier we kick these people out, the better for Ghana, because the more these people remain in power, the more they destroy our democracy, the more they spit on the constitution of the land because of their own selfish interest. It may say, Sasuban we ya sanko free NPP for no adane di no. Se me speaker and come me parliament BM until January. Alban Bagbin betie me pa me say me catch and say parliament no e mani me BM until January. Yes, where John Dramani Mahama ina, then they can come back to parliament. Because enkofu no obviously no omunye ready. Omunye ready. Yempe emrabi swedi. Yempe mragana mrano enkofu no omunye ready say ye this tone they are diabolic. Enti yensha nenso. Say sani America no. Me the speaker of parliament no. Akasa suba we ya sankwase afui Afenyo Markin ne nkofo adana di edidi parliament atem a working out on parliament enne omo an show up no me Alban Bagbin na ho me senka me parliament biem until January. Let us see how these people can run their government. Samusibo Jimmy, samusimu ni munyansa. You people are tying your own hands at your back. Na mu ria mo say twabo ho asa bisa Ghana for NDC penny for say na why na ede ahoma cheche yensa no. Meanwhile, you are the same people who are tying your hands and your legs. What Jimmy? Eti munsu nyansa. Mo yenkwase afododo. Mo Jimmy too much na munsu nyansa. We are living in a modern dispensation. Munsu nyansa na what Jimmy? NPP munsu nyansa na what Jimmy yenkwase afo. We are living in a modern dispensation, a modern democracy. Munsu nyansa. Ghana nyamu dia oto. Ghana mrano enyamu dia. Ghana court no enyamu dia. Court a share speaker si oniswa. There is nothing the court can do. Why? Because oba Ghana mremwa. There is something we call separation of powers. The three arms of government, you know, they are all independent and are supposed to operate independently. Court to mention they say, go back on your words. We a speaker. Yeah, na yeah, chill. How you should run your parliament. We nyansa. Say talk on time wa Alban Bagbin. Jina quarter na all Cambra Edimbra no. Talk on where was she at that time? Na ebe sebi you talk on and na how he should run or bro no what's not parliament for over 30 something years. Alban no what's not parliament over 30 something years and more. Oba we na no how or no onsi and run the parliament ana. Ye Jimmy because of NPP and them say ye democracy no say because of the selfishness of NPP and kwasiampeni Markin. Afenyo Markin. Ni Jimmy and kwasiasem any emuasem no. Our democracy is being threatened because of the greed, irresponsibility of Afenyo Markin. Tiyensu nyansa. Na yentias say in this in this way no, we can't blame the NDC. The NDC have done nothing wrong. We can't blame the NDC. The NPP no, they have themselves to blame. Afenyo Markin no, has himself to blame. Say parliament ebie ya wama. It is a wama dia. Any parliament no me say can let us adjourn parliament again until say yes swear Mahama ina. Then they can come back and sit down to talk. Emua 89 year essay no. I'll keep following closely. The way ebesiako near ebesibiano, I'll never ever hesitate to update you people on the recent development in Parliament. So when you are subscribe here, and subscribe to this channel. Name me a bell icon. Send a bell. I'll be video betu ebiano. You'll be one of the first to get notified when a new video is uploaded onto this channel. And me demo ibisi me at the chairman free, but enjoy the rest of your time, and I'll see you in my next video. Makram.